Thank you very much. So, I'm representing the CEBC, the Consortium of European Building Control, and one of our roles is monitoring what goes on across Europe, so that we can, when we talk to the Commission, we can hopefully influence what they do in their policy. So, just before I start, just to say that, I mean, the general trends really at the moment, I think, because of what has been happening in Europe, we have and I mentioned it yet again, I said this yesterday, because of Brexit, and also we have elections in France and Germany next year, the general feeling is that the Commission is being a bit careful about what it does, so nothing too massively exciting, I think, coming out at the moment. But what is coming out, I think, is the trends really are for greater transparency, more information being given to people, and also tightening and improving some of the existing legislation. So let's see what we have been looking at and seeing what's coming up. The building passport, this is all part of the transparency side of things. It is, the Commission feels, a key tool for providing information to all the stakeholders in building, and will provide building-related information in the same way as everybody has medical records. Then in theory you should have building records as well, and so you'll have data on the design, construction and use easily available. Yes. And then more information on the framework is going to be introduced on core indicators of environmental performance of buildings based on life cycle appraisals, and the sort of thing it's going to be looking at and expecting to be provided is information on things like greenhouse gas emissions, resource efficiency, efficient water resources, whether you have good indoor air quality, do you have resilience to climate change, which comes back to what Ryan was talking about, and life cycle cost and value as well. So there's another reporting requirement coming along. Now, the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive has been mentioned, and we've had two of those so far. We've had the original one and also the recast. But this was a document that was recently leaked. So whether it was a deliberate leak or an actual leak, I don't know, but they are looking at reviewing the standards that have been set for improving energy efficiency. But you'll see as I move on a little bit further, this is going to have a reflection through onto the energy performance certificates which came out of this particular directive itself. So what he's going to do is introduce new targets, and as you will see, some of the stuff I'm not going to read all through, but one of the things that I'm thinking of introducing is that all new buildings will have electric charging points for cars, and also for those who are doing major renovations. So you can see from 2023, so not that long to go, every building has to have one charging point for every 10 buildings, 10 parking spaces, pardon me. So, okay, technical building systems. Again, this is all about improving the understanding. So, all new buildings will have to have technical building systems which can report back to whoever's the building manager about how efficient this building will be. And as you can see at the bottom there, it's going to apply the information as part of this transparency stuff. The issue of the building energy certificate will contain this information. So for non-residential buildings, you see they need to have these systems in place by 2023. And for residential buildings, again by 2023, but only for those with larger energy consumption. And part of this is that the Commission is producing a smartness indicator which will set out the sort of the standards, and this again is another reporting requirement. So it shows for future owners, future tenants or investors, how smart that building will be. So as part of the sort of the energy, whereas at the moment you get an energy performance certificate saying how energy efficient the building is, you'll also get in the future something saying how smart a building it is as well. There's been lots of talk of BIM, but there is a EU-funded group, the EU BIM task group, and that is being funded by the Commission, as you can see, to produce a common European network And it is also intended in the future to produce a guidebook, or handbook rather, on the introduction of a standardised BIM system. Circular economy, this is about reducing waste in construction. Up till now, we tend to have we take the resources, we build something, we chuck it away. So the Commission are now looking at how we can do that, reduce that by either retaining, reusing or recycling the building materials, because they see it as one of the largest areas of waste in the EU. So that's coming along, a protocol. There's been a lot of discussion about looking at different member states and comparing what's going on. Well, the European Construction Sector Observatory is another program which is looking at getting information from each member state. And as you can see, this is those who are in blue at the moment are the ones where you can actually get the information. So if you can get hold of my slides after this presentation, there's the link that will take you through, and there's quite a comprehensive, detailed information on each country. There's also been some new guidance come out about respirable crystalline silica in construction sites. This is in the same way as people get very nasty cancers and things with asbestos, you could have the same with crystalline silica. So some information has come out about how we can protect workers from this particular problem. Oops, gone too far. Sorry. And then this is another area. This is for very large companies, for those with more than 500 employees. It says a public consultation, as it says, on non-financial information. So the reason I've put this up here is you can see it includes things like environmental matters, social employee aspects, respect for human rights, and so on and so forth. So it will include stuff to do with the actual physical buildings. And I'm finishing off when it gets there.
And we should slowly finish. We should slowly go to the finish line, okay, if you know what I mean.
This is the last slide. So, and finally, for those who are interested in research, there's Horizon 2020, which is the huge EU research fund. There's a public consultation which, as you see, is opening about this, so that it starts on the 15th of January. So anybody who's interested in Horizon 2020 and their research, do please take part in this consultation. And that is that.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, Martin.